to another video of the HTML and CSS web development course. So in the last videos we created a website. We added some headers, some paragraphs, we added a table with information, we added links, we added images, videos and a YouTube video that we embed in the iframe. And to make it all look pretty, we used Inline CSS. So for the people who forgot, Inline CSS is using CSS inside the HTML file. But as you will see in the future, when you work for your own or when you work on projects, it's really bad practice. So what we're gonna do, we are going to export all the Inline CSS to an external CSS file. So the first thing we're gonna do Command N. Let's create a new file. We're gonna save this in our CSS folder, and we're gonna call this index.css. We're gonna save this. We're gonna drag this to the right side of the screen. So we create an editor with two screen files. And the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna add a comment. So we're gonna open up a comment with a slash, then a star, or Shift 8, and we're gonna call this is the main CSS file. I'm gonna close it up with a star and a slash. Okay, so first thing we did here is body. So as you can see, we gave the body a style with the background color of the chocolate and a text line of center. So we're gonna call the body, we're gonna open up with parentheses, and we're gonna call background color, and the color we used is chocolate. Very good. The second one was we used text align. So I'm gonna open text align, and we're gonna give this a center. I'm gonna save this. So as you can see, at the end of the code, we use the semicolon, and that is because CSS doesn't know when a code line ends. So that's why you use a semicolon, so that we can tell the browser or the CSS file as well that we end a line there. So what we're gonna do now, we'll go back here, we're gonna delete the whole style attribute. So that looks a lot cleaner, right? But before we're gonna go further with the CSS, we're gonna import a file first. I forgot that. So inside the head, we're gonna call link, we're gonna call rel, and the rel, that is the relationship the link has. So in this case, it's a style sheet. CSS is a style sheet. We're gonna give this a type of text/CSS. This way the browser knows it's the style sheet is a text or CSS file, or the both. And after that, we're gonna call a rel. No, sorry, we're gonna call href. And the href is gonna be CSS / index.css. And we're gonna close this up. Now, when we save this, now the HTML file is linked, or the HTML file is linked to the CSS file. So, what is next on our list? The UL. So, for UL the same. You don't have to use it. You don't have to use a dot. You put UL. Open it up. We're gonna give this a display property of inline, and we're gonna delete the whole style from the UL as well. Okay. So then we have the list. So what we do, we're gonna call ly, gonna give this a display of inline, we're gonna save this, and we're gonna delete this from all these lines. It's gonna take a few seconds, sorry. Okay, so next one is the H1. So now it gets interesting. So as you can see, we have here H1, paragraph, H2, paragraph, H3, paragraph, H4. So what we could do is just do this. H1, and we're gonna give this a color of blue-violet. This works, this is fine, you can do this. But what happens if we have like the H2 here, we can call H2. I'm gonna give this the color of, oh, it doesn't have a separate color, okay, doesn't matter. But let's say we're gonna give it a color, and we're gonna call this brown, for example. So now all the H2s, so all the header 2s inside the HTML are gonna have the same color as this one. But as you can see, if we do that, the H2s from our blog are also gonna have the same color as this one, and maybe we don't want that. So now we're gonna talk about classes. So what you can do, we're gonna go back to this one. We're gonna write class equals, and we're gonna call this H2.1. Save this. So go back. Now we're gonna use a dot, H2-1. I'm gonna open this up. And we're gonna give this a different color of cadet blue. And we're gonna give this a text align of center. So what we do, we're gonna delete the style here. I'm gonna save this, and let's check it out on the website, right? Because we didn't check it yet. Let's hope it works. Okay, so this was the header 1. This is the P. This is the header 2 H1. That's this one. This is the header 2. So now, if you go back down, my first block. This is this one. That's still brown, and that is the H2 we called here, right? That's this one. So this is a little bit where classes come in handy. So where you use a class, and in that class you can subclass again as well if you want to. With that you can give each attribute a different color or different properties. So for example, this H2 here, I want the color to be different than the brown or even the cadet blue. So what we do, we're gonna call class. Oh, sorry. And we're gonna call this H2-block. Go back here. I'm gonna call dot H2-block. Open that up. I'm gonna give this a color, and we're gonna use dark blue, for example. And we're gonna save this. Go back here, and now you see, because we use another class here, my very first block, now it's blue. And that is something classes are really handy for, because you're gonna give everything a different color. So let's go back to this one. The H1 we already did, right? I'm gonna delete this one. But you know, in the future I think we're gonna use extra H1s with all different colors. So we're gonna give this one a class as well. And we're gonna give this a class of H1-welcome. We'll go back to this one. Under the H1, we're gonna call .h1-welcome. And we're gonna give this a color of dark red. We're gonna give this a text align of center. Okay, so we make sure we save it. Go back here, and now it's dark red. And this is a little bit how classes work. It's with the same with this P, right? Because this P has a crimson colors, this paragraph, and this one doesn't have its own color. We could call P, but in that case, we're gonna give all the paragraphs the same color. So after the P, we're gonna call class. And we're gonna call this P-welcome. And under the H1.welcome, we're gonna call .p-welcome. Open it up. We're gonna give this a color of dark slate blue. And as you can see, it's centered in the middle. So we're gonna give this a text align of center. Gonna save this. And with this one, we're gonna delete the style, because Why not? We don't need it anymore. So I'm going to delete this one as well. Save this, go back. So there's this one. As you can see, that looks a lot better. So let's get going. Let's keep going. So here, this one, we have the h2-1. So we're gonna call this, open it up, we're gonna call class. We're gonna call this p-1. Save this. Then we go to the h2-1. Gonna call dot p-1. Open it up. So inside the HTML, it has a text align of right. So we're gonna call text align of right. Gonna save it. So it doesn't have a separate color, so we're not gonna give it a separate color. Okay. So then we have the h3 here. It has a text align of left and a color of dark blue. So above the h2 blue, because the h2 blue is here, I'm gonna open up the p1. Under the p1, I'm gonna make some space. And we're gonna give this h3, we're gonna give it another class. And we're gonna call this h3-coding. Save it. So the h3-coding, we're gonna open it here. So dot h3-coding. Open it up. And it has a text align of right. No, text align of left, sorry. So, oh, that's the one. Align of left, sorry. Close it up. It has a color of dark blue. So, color. Dark blue. Save it. Go back here. We're gonna open this one a little bit up again so that we have more space. We're gonna delete the whole style. We're gonna delete it. Okay. So as you can see, the code we are writing, it starts to look a little bit better now. It starts to look more clean because we don't have all the CSS inside of it. And then we have like the P, so that's the P coding. Under the H3, we're gonna open up the P coding. Open it up. We're gonna give this one a class of p-coding, and it has a style. It has a text align of left, so we're gonna call text align. Wrong one. Of left. Make sure we use double pointer, and it has a color of dark cyan. Okay. We're gonna delete the style here as well. Then we have this one, and we're gonna give this a class as well. And we're gonna give this a class called h4-pro. So pro because we use a professional word here. So under the p.coding, gonna open it up. We're gonna call .h4-pro, and we're gonna give this. Here we use the font size. So we're gonna use font dash size, and the font size was 20px, so 20 pixels. Close it up. Then we go to the color. Is dim gray. Okay, we're gonna delete the style here because we don't need it anymore. Okay, and here we have the P, so we're gonna call this the P-pro. Oh, don't forget the dot there. Dash pro. Go back here. Give it a class. P-pro. And this one only has a color, so we're gonna call color, and that is Dodger blue. Save it. We're gonna delete the style. Save it. And then the H5 here has a text line of left. So we're gonna give this one a style as well. So we're gonna call class. And we're gonna call this .h5-Tesla. Inside here, we're going to call .h5-Tesla. Open it up. And this one only has a text line of left, so we're going to call text align, and we're going to call it left. And we're going to delete this as well. Okay. So this is pretty cool. We save this, make it a little bit smaller, and let's see what our website looks like now. It looks exactly the same, and that is because all the inline CSS that we took it to our index.css file. So all the CSS is now in here, nicely structured. Of course, we can structure it even better, but this is just to show you how to work with classes. And yeah, this looks really nice. So, okay, so let's go to the images. So as you can see, we still have an image style, and for the images we're not going to call class. For the images we're going to call something new, and that is called ID. And ID is a little bit like classes. The only difference is you can call an ID as well by JavaScript in the future. So we're going to give this image an ID, and we're going to call this the meme ID. So I'm going to save this. So the difference between a class and a meme in CSS is when you call a class, you start with dot. When you call an ID, you're going to start with a bracket sign. No, there's not a bracket sign, it has another name. I totally forgot, it's just Shift 3. So we're going to call meme-id, open it up. So as you can see, this is a class, we call it with a dot, and an ID we call it this funny looking Shift 3 we use. I don't know the English word. And you can do exactly the same in CSS. So it has a padding dash bottom of 20 px. Go next line. It has a padding top of 20 px. Okay. So we're gonna delete the style here because we don't need it anymore. Okay. Next one is there's a padding top, padding bottom. As you can see, all the three images have like the same properties from the style, right? So the only thing we have to do is gonna call ID, and you're gonna call meme-id space, and in this one we're gonna do the same. We're gonna call ID, gonna call meme-id, gonna save this one, gonna save this one. Then we go back to the website, we're gonna save this. As you can see, it's still really nice centered in the middle. And that is, oh, we forgot to delete this or the style, but doesn't matter because you saw it on the first images as well. Even when we delete the style attribute, the images are still really nice centered, and you still have space between the two images. And that is a little bit the difference between a class and ID, and that is what we used in this video. So in this video, you learned how to export internal CSS of inline CSS to external CSS. You learned about classes, and you learned about IDs. So in the next video, we're going to talk a little bit more about colors, because till now we only used color names like dark blue and dark cyan and dim gray. But it's not really good practice to do that. It's better practice to use hex codes or to use RGBA. But we're going to talk about that in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and I hope to see you in the next.